Hello and welcome to the 85th episode of the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Bunny, and today is Monday, June 3rd, 2013. I am recording in sunny Florida in the United States of America, where it is currently overcast and about to rain. I am Sock Bunny pretty much everywhere on the web, such as MyFitnessPal, Ravelry, Plurk, Instagram, Google+, Twitter, iTunes, YouTube, and blip.tv. The blog is at sockbunnyknitandfit.blogspot.com. The email is sockbunnyknitandfit at gmail.com, and Etsy shop is sockbunnystudios.etsy.com. This is the no makeup version of the show. I forgot to put makeup on, and I realized as soon as I sat down, so this is what you get. And I'm going to the gym shortly anyway, so no point in getting all dressed up. Just go to the gym. I do want to show you what I listed yesterday in the shop update. I do plan on recording on Sundays, but it just hasn't worked out the last few weeks. This week coming up, I hope to record on Sunday. My shop updates are on Sundays at 2 o'clock. So I want to show you what I listed in the shop this week. I did two colorways, but I did them on various weights. So the first one is Whoopoo! No, that's not the name of it. The name of it is Whoa, that's pretty! I love this color. This is the same color that I did my Tappan Zee cardigan in, but I did my Tappan Zee a little bit darker than this. So this is Whoa, that's pretty, and I have it on 3 different weights in the shop. I have it in Sparkly, Sunshine, which is superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. And then I have Lace Weight, which is a merino bamboo mix and is very soft. And I'll be keeping one of these because I'm going to do my bee leaf shawl knit along that we're going to do in the fall. I'm going to be doing mine in this color because who can have enough lime green, right? And then this is the Janie MCN base, which is merino cashmere nylon. So we have those 3 weights going up in Whoa, that's pretty. That's what I said the first time I dyed with that color. I put the dye in the pot and I put the bare yarn and I went, whoa! So that's where it's got its name. Okay, the next thing is my next colorway was inspired by Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm not going to do a spoiler, but there's a scene where somebody tells somebody else to go put on a red shirt. Now, if you watch the original series of Star Trek, if a person was wearing a red shirt, they had a much higher chance of dying. Not dying yarn, dying. So, like, say, because mostly the guys in red were engineering and security. So if there was a bunch of people that beamed down to a planet and some of them were wearing red, they were much more likely to die than anybody else. And it's like something they're famous for. So when this person told this other person to put on a red shirt, that really cracked me up. Because I'm sure everybody was thinking, oh no, that person's going to die. So I did this in 2 different weights. I did it in the Janie MCN base. This is a tonal, so it's got lighter and darker shades of red. It's not quite as red saturated as what you're seeing there. And so I have 3 skeins of that, and then I also did it in lace weight. So this is called I've Got the Red Shirt Blues. I crack me up. So those 2 colorways are currently in the shop. Go check them out. I have lots of other colorways in the shop currently still, and I do have fiber in case you're interested. So that is sockbunnystudios.etsy.com. My next shop update will be next Sunday, June 16th at 2 o'clock Eastern. What are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about fitness, finished objects, works in progress, knit and crochet alongs, tips and tricks, favorite things, and what I am watching and reading. We have a new iTunes review from Polly of Polly Knits Podcast. Thank you very much, Polly, for your very kind words. And back at you, buddy. I really like Polly a lot. He seems like he's a very down-to-earth person, and I really enjoy his podcast a lot. I could totally see myself sitting and knitting with Polly. And we are up to 66 star ratings, so thank you, everybody, for that. And welcome to any new viewers who are watching. I hope you like it and you'll come back next time. I'm going to move favorite things to the beginning of the podcast. Have you noticed anything different? I got a new knitting chair and a new bookshelf. So I've been doing a lot of work this past week here in my craft room and purging a lot of stuff. You can actually see the floor. And I have been rearranging things and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, like in the next couple of weeks, I'll be giving you a tour of the whole room. I am going to go back to Ikea and get some more shelves for over here by the window. But I got this shelf and this chair this week, and I put them together, and I wanted to show you. Give you like a little mini tour of this area of the room, but also show you which models I got. So the chair is very comfortable. My old chair died a few weeks ago. I think it's funny because it actually broke after I lost weight. The seat, one day I sat in it and it just popped and the chair was broken. I could have fixed it, but I paid $25 for that chair at Goodwill about 2 years ago, and I think I got my money's worth out of it. And I've wanted this chair for about that amount of time. So it was really my excuse to go and buy the new knitting chair. I was going to wait until I earned it, and I'm like maybe 50 miles away from earning it, but it was getting worse, and it actually was hurting my back to sit in it. So I decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and get the chair early. So the chair, I don't know how much you'll be able to see, it has these nice arms. I'm wearing shorts, so I don't want to blind you with my legs. And oh look, oh hi, who's that? That's John. And I have all my little stuffies over here. Hi everybody. And then on this shelf I have my sock knitting books, which are going to figure prominently in today's podcast. And then this of course will get rearranged like 100 times, but you know, this is what it looks like now. And then on the next shelf I have my general knitting books, which are like my sweater books and different things like that. And then I'm also going to tell you my tip or trick for the week. This is a tip that I saw actually at Ikea. They do this. These are candles, and they at Ikea they actually have them in jars, but I decided to put them in this vase that I have, and they smell really good. Smell, see? See, does that smell good? So this is my little tip or trick this week. It's a decorating tip or trick. You can put your candles in a jar. And then at the top we have our, let's see, stitch guides, cross stitch books, general random patterns. My spiritual books are at the top there. At the very top, I have my wine boxes that I have my spindles in. And then there's a couple of spindles and a little thing. And then up here, I keep my Swift. And then down back to me. Hi! So I am very much enjoying this. I don't remember what day it was that I went to Ikea last week and got the chair, but I love it. And it's way more comfortable than my old chair. The other one, like I said, was starting to hurt my back, but even so, it wasn't that comfortable to start off with. But this one, I could sit in it for hours. That is probably not a good thing. But I love it, love it, love it. I was inspired to get this chair by Tina from the Knitting Blooms podcast. Ever since I've seen hers, I've wanted that chair. They did have the cushions are sold separately, so they have a large selection, like 10 different kinds of cushions that you could buy, different fabrics. Like they have leather, they have fur, well, more like a sheepskin type thing. They have this canvas type fabric that I have. They had one that had a floral print that would have gone perfect in this room, but for the chair and the leg rest, it would have been like $50 more to get that, and I was like, it's not worth $50 to, you know, get the fancy fabric. So, but they have like red and blue and brown and black and this cream natural color. So the shelf that I got is called a Kilby. The shelf was only $25. Very, very, very easy to put it together. I put both of these things together by myself. The chair is more of an intermediate put together project, but I was still able to do it by myself. The chair, I say Poang, but I know that's probably wrong. That's the redneck coming out of me. If you know how to pronounce this properly, if you can let me know. And so this was, like I said, more of an intermediate put together project, but very comfortable. I love it very much. They have 3 different woods also. They had this lighter wood, then they had a medium wood, and then they had like a black. So I'm very happy. Yay! So that's my favorite thing and my tip for the week, a decorating tip. So there you go. Doing things out of order today. Okay, let's talk about fitness. We have a fitness along every month in the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit Ravelry group. This month, May, we had 70 participants. Yay! So if you're participating in the Sock Bunny group fitness thread, give yourself a big pat on the back and be very proud of yourself because I am proud of you. And any day that you work out at least 30 consecutive minutes, or if you're wearing a pedometer and it registers at least 10,000 steps, you can post 1 post per day in that month's thread. And the winner each month will get to choose either a $5 giftable pattern or some bare sock yarn or fiber that I will dye for you in up to 3 colors, or you could pick something from the Etsy shop. So I drew the winner for May right before I started podcasting. We had 733 posts. Now, granted, some of those were me chattering and other people chattering. The winner is number 160, who is Jan's Hands in Canada. Yay! And I'm pretty sure she's won before. I'm pretty sure she has. So, yay, Jan. Keep up the good work. Keep on working out. Let me know what you want for your prize. And John says hi. And, we also have a poster along going, and all the rules for that are in the Sock Bunny group. If you're participating for June, you need to post your starting poster between the 1st and 7th day of the month. And we are currently, for anybody who's participating in May, your end poster needs to be in also before the 7th of this month. So get all those posters in, and next week I will draw the winner for the random poster along. And I am still doing my poster. I can't remember how many miles I'm at. I think I'm around 750 miles. I didn't work out very much this week. I've had a pretty rough week as far as my depression and anxiety go. So I didn't work out as much, which is really dumb because I know that working out helps. But sometimes when I get really depressed, I can't leave the house, so that really stinks. I do plan on going to spin class tonight, though. But anyway, I do still need to make a poster for my steps because I am, when I get to 3,650,000, yeah, 3,650,000 steps, I will be doing a winning an iPad. Yay! Or whichever tablet I want at that time. And if you're wondering how I got that number, it's 365 times 10,000. All right, finished objects. We have a finished object. We, during the month of, well, gosh, it was since March, right? Like March 15th, April, and May, we had, hi, Rachel. Rachel, do you want to be on the podcast?
No.
What? I can't hear you.
No, sorry.
Rachel, do you want to knit? Crochet? Weave? Spin? Tat? Anyway, we had a knit along, crochet along, weave along in the Sock Bunny group with hand spun. And I finished my project. I finished my scarf. I think I ended up with 12 or 16. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 12 of these little hexagons. And the I didn't use a pattern, but the recipe that I used is on my project page if you're interested. And I love it. And I don't know what the fiber is. I don't remember. But look at that. Look how cute I am in this. Okay, that's a little tight. It's very soft though, and I'm definitely looking forward to wearing it. And these are my colors for sure. I love it. It's beautiful. So we had some beautiful finished objects. Even if you didn't participate, you should still go and look at the finished object thread for all the different things that people made out of their hand spun, because they are gorgeous. So I drew a winner because it was a knit along. We had 2 winners actually. So the first winner won a bag from Useful Things, who is Amy, who is a sweetheart. And it is a coffee or tea, I guess, themed bag. Coffee mostly. And her shop is at Useful Things, EWESFUL things.etsy.com, and I've left it wrapped up nicely for you. So the person who won this is number 32, who is Judy Knits, who is Judy from Missouri, and she has the cutest dog in the world as her avatar. Totally the most adorable dog ever. And she made a beautiful shawl out of her hand spun. So congratulations. Let me know your address and I will send this out to you. And I'm very excited for you because this is a fantastic bag. And then the second prize is a $5 or less giftable pattern from me. And that is number 51, who is Debbie, who is Fluffy Dog Owner. She's in Michigan, and she also made a really beautiful shawl. So you guys should totally go to the finished object thread and check those out. So Fluffy Dog Owner, let me know which pattern you would like, and congratulations to everybody who's won today. I'm very happy for all of you. My other finished object, did I leave it over here or did I move it? I can't remember. I did finish my Aurora Borealis sock, but I think I might have moved it to take a picture of it. Oh, man. Let me look real quick. Oh, here it is. No, I didn't. All right. Sorry about that. I finished the one sock, and this I have decided is going to be a shop sample. So this is the first sock, and this is in my Aurora Borealis colorway on my sparkle base, which probably will be hard to tell in this light. Sparkly! There you go. I have sent it out to test knitters. One person has already finished it, and I've got some suggestions back, and the main suggestion I've gotten is to add more sizes. So I am going to add more sizes, which means I will need more test knitters. I will be more specific about that coming up, but as soon as I get the sizes figured out and I need test knitters for those sizes, I'll let you know. So this might take a little bit longer to come out, but you know, it's my first sock pattern. I want it to be done right. And this will be a free pattern on Ravelry as soon as we get it done. So that's my other finished object. And like I said, that's going to be a shop sample for if I ever do any kind of shows. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. Those are my finished objects. Now let's talk about works in progress, which is completely insane. I didn't have startitis. I had Sockstravaganza-itis, which I will talk about. So first things first, I want to talk about my Tappan Zee. I got some progress on it, but not very much, but you'll see why. So this is the Tappan Zee sweater. It's a free pattern on knitty.com. I am making it out of my own hand-dyed yarn in my Sugar DK weight in the color, whoa, that's pretty. I did my sweater yarn a little bit darker than, well, a lot darker than the stuff that's the sock yarn that I did. But here we go. Here's the Tappan Zee. There's the front. Try to gather it together so you can see what it looks like. It's hard to show sweaters. Let's do this. So there we go. That's the front. And then the back. Here's the back. And you can see where the pink thing is where I was. So I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but when you see the other madness I have going on, you will understand why. And I might as well try it on. Gotta be a weekly thing, right? Oh, whoops. There we go. Oh, that worked out perfectly. I knocked the camera down accidentally to show my sweater. Let's move this around here. It is really hard to show a sweater. on the podcast without standing up. So there you go. And I love it. And I'm doing buttons all the way down. They only have you do 3, but I'm doing buttonholes all the way down. So, and I really love knitting with this yarn. It's merino, superwash merino. Oh, I can't get the sweater off. It's attacking me. Okay, so back up here. Look at the eyes, people. My eyes are up here. I'm so silly. Anyway, that is my Tappan Zee, and I love it. Love, love, love. I cannot wait to finish this. I'll be wearing it a lot. My purple Sedona sweater that I had finished a few weeks ago, I did weave in the ends. I haven't I haven't put the clasps on yet that I want to do, but I did wear it to the movies the other day. It went to see Captain Kirk. Speaking of Captain Kirk, I have not earned it yet, I don't think, but I had to start using it anyway. My Captain Kirk bag, because I have to use it for amusing purposes. So this is my Captain Kirk bag that I showed last week that I got from the Star Knits Etsy shop. My daughter Rachel, I haven't mentioned before, my daughter Rachel has a boyfriend. He's really nice. I like him a lot. She met him at church, and I am knitting a hat for him. So I dyed some yarn. He likes the Tampa Bay Rays, the baseball team, so I dyed some yarn in a bluish color that I'm not saying it's an exact match, but it's close enough. So I decided to make the, let me get the pattern out here. I'm making the Lost Banner hat, which is a Susan B. Anderson pattern. And I'm making it out of my Sugar DK, the same yarn I made my sweater out of. And I didn't get very many rows on it. You can see I'm knitting it on double points. I like to do double points. I would much rather, for a hat, I'd much rather do double points than magic loop or knitting it around. I don't like, on 16-inch circulars, a lot of times the needle shaft is shorter, and I don't like that. I need longer needles, so I would rather do DPNs. So anyway, the reason I have it in this bag is because the boyfriend doesn't like William Shatner. That's the only strike against him so far. Everything else I really like about him. He's nice. He sings amazingly. He doesn't like Shatner. I don't know. I told Rachel she had to break up with him. She doesn't listen to me, so, you know. Anyway, so I told her to tell him that I put the hat in the Shatner bag. I gotta get my own bag, so, you know. And we went to see, I went to see Star Trek Into Darkness a second time, and I went with Rachel and her boyfriend and some of her other friends, and I was sitting next to her boyfriend, and he makes fun of Benedict Cumberbatch, something about his chin. Anyway, so when Benedict Cumberbatch came on, and the boyfriend was making fun of BC, as I call him, Benedict Cumberbatch, I sort of like punched him and pinched him a little bit. Might as well get used to this family right away, okay? So that is the Lost Banner hat by Susan B. Anderson. There's no deadline on that. Obviously, he's not going to need it anytime soon, so that's going to be knit on it as I feel like it type of project. And then, okay, Sockstravaganza. I went a little crazy. This weekend, I went a little crazy. And in fact, this episode is going to be called Sockstravaganza Strategies, because I was strategizing. I cast on quite a few pairs of socks, and I have more socks that I want to cast on. I currently have 5, and with at least 2 more that I want to cast on immediately. And I'm sort of reminding myself of Gigi from the Knitwear Girls. If you listen to that audio podcast, she has several times. I know she did it back when she was doing was it the little box of socks I think she was doing. She had a bunch of socks cast on, and right now she's working through another sock book, and she has a bunch of pairs of socks cast on at the same time, so sort of reminding me of her. But I have several pairs. So one you've seen, The first one you've seen is the, and where is it? Don't tell me I left it out in the living room. I bet I did. Okay, well, you've seen them, and I barely made any progress. Can't believe I forgot that in the living room. Anyway, it is my Time Traveler socks, which is a Doctor Who reference, out of Knit Picks Felici. I got maybe 10 rows done on those socks, and you saw them last week and the week before, so that's where those socks are. So that's sock pair number 1, and I'm still in the first sock. Second sock is, I'm doing toe up, and I'm using the guacamole yarn, guacamole colorway. It's Drops Fable Superwashes, which is one of my favorite sock yarns. This is a hard-wearing sock yarn, very similar to Opal in how it is made and how sturdy it is. And this is what the colorway looks like. I think last week or the week before I showed a little tiny baby sock that I had made for my advent calendar out of this yarn. So I got the toe cast on. These are being done toe up. So I got the toe cast on for that. So that is sock number 2 for Sockstravaganza. Now remember, this is 3 months, so we'll see how much we can get done. I'm going to get done as much sock knitting as I possibly can. Now, the only monkey wrench that is being thrown into this is Tour de Fleece. When I planned Sockstravaganza, I didn't think about Tour de Fleece. And I want to spin for a sweater. May or may not happen. We'll see. You can only do what you can do. But it's good to have goals. Even if you can't reach those goals immediately, it's good to have goals. So that is my sock number 2, which are, I'm using the book Socks from the Toe Up by Wendy Johnson. Socks from the Toe Up. And I'm just going to do her plain gusset heel vanilla sock, which I've done before, and I really like how it fits. So that is sock book number 1 that we are using. And I tried to get back to my sock books. Before I started the podcast, I knit a lot more socks than I have been. I think with the podcast, I've been branching out more, with the sweaters and different things like that. But before that, I was really, really a sock fanatic. So I'm trying to get back to my roots, I guess you could say. So sock number 3 is some Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn in the Star Trekky colorway, which I showed you guys a few weeks ago, that my friend Dale picked up for me at a fiber event that Fiber Nymph was at. Fiber Nymph Dye Works. This is her, let's see, does it say which base it is? Bedazzled base, which is sparkly. And this is what it looks like in the ball. And this is a self-striping yarn. It resembles the uniforms from Star Trek. And I cast this on, and I got a couple of pattern repeats. Not very much. I was really trying to focus on getting things cast on, wound and cast on. So I spent a lot of time Saturday winding, and Sunday I spent casting on. So not very far on that, but let me show you the pattern that I'm doing. This is from Sensational Knitted Socks. I'm doing 2 patterns from this book. This particular one is called Ridged Feather. I'm going to show it to you in a different colorway. It's a chevron type pattern. It's going to make the stripes go zigzag. So, and I am going to do, I like all the feet on all my socks to be vanilla. I don't like patterning on the top of the sock. So the feet will be vanilla, but the cuffs will be fancy. So that is what that will be. That's called Ridged Feather. And you can sort of a little bit tell that it's going to be wavy. Let me hold it upside down and see if that helps. You can see. Yeah, you can't really see. You'll be able to tell better next time. But that's in her sparkly bedazzled base, and I love, love it. So that is sock number 3, book number 2. Sock number 4 is sock number 4. This is the Jelly Bean colorway from Desert Vista Dye Works, who is my favorite indie dyer other than myself. I gotta say myself is my favorite, but really Desert Vista Dye Works is my favorite. This is the Jelly Bean colorway, and whoa. And this is another one from this book. This one you can more see that it's going to be zigzag. And look at those colors. Amazing. I think these are going to be some of my favorite socks ever. And this one I'm using from this same section of Sensational Knitted Socks. There's another pattern that is called Welt Fantastic. And I don't know if I could show it to you. See if I can show it to you without showing the pattern. That's what it's going to look like. So it's going to cause the stripes to zigzag, so that's why I chose it. So that's book number 2. I love those socks. It was hard to put those down and start working on other things. So that is number 4. Number 5 is my own yarn, my Sock Bunny Studios yarn. And actually, I am using Knit Picks Bear yarn for the base, but this is my Rhymes with Pink colorway. And I didn't get very much progress done on this. This is done on DPNs, which I have in my trusty DPN holder 2B thingy. And not very many rows done there either, but like I said, I was really focusing on getting these all cast on and deciding and winding and all that kind of stuff. So let's see if I can get that back in the holder. I bought more, oh, I put it on the wrong tube. I'll put it away later. But anyway, I bought more wood DPNs. I break them. So if I break these, it absolutely has to be the last pair. But I had to have them. They're Knitter's Pride. I love them. They're my favorite needles. And this is from the Eclectic Soul. I love every single sock in here but one. I want to make them all but one pair of socks in this book. I'm going to do, starting next week, I am going to do a book review on my different various sock books, just to show you my favorites and non-favorites or whatever. So this is called Hydrangea, which is one of my favorite flowers. My 2 favorite flowers are Hydrangea and Hibiscus. So that is the Hydrangea pattern, and I think that's going to look lovely in this pink yarn. So that is book number 3. And that's sock number 5. Sock number 6, I haven't cast on yet, but I will. I just didn't get a chance to wind the yarn. This is going to look familiar. Whoa, that's pretty! This is the, whoa, that's pretty. Look, I didn't even fancy this skein up. Because I knew I was going to be winding it. So, this is the Janie MCN base. And this is going to be, let's see, I made put little sticky notes over here so I could tell myself what it's going to be. Oh, it's going to be, and I don't know if I'm saying this right either. I say Kaizo, could be Kaizo, from Knitted Socks East and West. This is also one of my favorite sock books. Knitted Socks East and West. And the pattern is Kaizo. And something that you might notice, do you notice anything weird? Take a second and look. Even if you have to pause it, do you notice anything weird about those socks? Closer. On this one, they did a purl row before the toe, and on the other one, they did not. That bugs me. So anyway, that green yarn will be Kaizo. I'm super excited. This one I'm going to have to adjust, though, because they evidently did this on maybe sports weight or something, because they only have you casting on 48, and I normally need to do about 64. So I will just adjust the pattern accordingly. They'll still be pretty. It's a really pretty lace pattern, and I love this book. So I will be doing a review of that. So that's book number 4. For sock number 6, which is not cast on, and I decided to keep the doggy bag from Unique Designs from Big Cartel. She donated some prizes for the Sockstravaganza, so I decided to keep the doggy bag. That makes the most sense because I love my dog. All right, so that is sock number 6. Sock number 7 is Also a theoretical pair of socks. I am going to use my Janie MCN base also. This is Greyhounds on the Beach. I have a Greyhound. I need to be using Greyhounds on the Beach. Although these might be gift socks. I haven't decided yet. Depends on how they turn out. I haven't decided which pattern. I might do vanilla. I don't know yet. I have this in a bag from Flibberty Gibbet Bunny, I think is her name. I'm sure. I hope I'm saying it right. Flibberty Gibbet. And it's a Halloween bag that she had given me one time. So there we go. That's in there. I told you. It's crazy. And this is not even everything I want to do. I also would like to knit a pair of socks with the Poems yarn that I got. Remember when I returned the sparkly yarn that was super scratchy? I think that must have been a defective ball, by the way, because I was at Tuesday Morning the other day and they had the North Pole yarn there and I was feeling it and it wasn't scratchy the way the ball that I had was. So I think the ball I had was just defective in some way. And one last project that did get some love, but it is not a sock, but it's out of sock yarn, is this is the sock head hat pattern. And this is a free pattern, I do believe, by Kelly McClure, which is Boho Knits pattern. I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern if I remember right. But it's bohoknits.blogspot.com or on Ravelry Boho Knits. And it's a slouchy hat made from sock yarn. And I am making it out of Highland Handmaids in the challenging colorway. And this is her silver maple sock base, which is very shiny. And this is what it looks like. The little hook thingy here is where you saw it last time. So it didn't get a whole lot of love, but it did get love, so I wanted to show it. I think this is going to be my purse knitting for a while. It's going to be pretty. Should I try it on? Sure, why not? Hi. I totally should wear this while I work out. Okay, anyway. I wouldn't get any weird looks at all. Like I don't already get enough weird looks. Okay, so that is the sock head hat. And I really like that pattern. It's super easy. Nice, relaxing, just knit two, purl two. Sometimes when you do a knit two, purl two, you just sort of get in the groove and you don't even have to think about it. And it's got sort of like, I think of knit two, purl two, it's sort of like rocking in a rocking chair. Knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two. You know, it's sort of like relaxing after a while. Anyway, and it's not quite as boring as just knitting, you know, plain stockinette. So that is the craziness so far. Like I said, I have some more socks that I want to cast on. I have a couple more colorways of Desert Vista Dye Works that I really, really, really want to cake up and cast on. But I need more needles. So we'll have to see. We'll see. I do, actually, you know what? I have at least, I think I might have a couple more needles that I could use. I don't know if they're the right length. We'll have to see. Anyway, enough about that. So, Sockstravaganza. If this is your first time watching, you're like, what is Sockstravaganza? I should probably have talked about this before, right? Sockstravaganza is a 3-month knit-along that we're having in the Sock Bunny group. And you can enter as many... stop doing that, you silly camera. Why do you keep falling down? There we go. Oh, silly. Stay. Stir. Alright. You can enter as many socks as you want that fit in the categories, and there are a lot of different categories, and you can knit as many pairs of adult socks as you would like. There will be one general thread where all the socks can go, and then you can also post to additional threads depending on which ones fit with your socks. I have several categories. One is design your own socks, and I had a question. Yes, that does include color work, lace, or whatever. And the description of each of these is in the group, in the thread for that particular category. Design your own socks is basically you're going to take a a stitch pattern from either another garment or a stitch dictionary, or you can make up your own, and you're going to make a pair of socks out of that. You're going to design it and knit it. Self-striping yarn is another category. Lace, vanilla socks, which is just stockinette, colorwork socks, which is not just adding a different colored heel or toe or cuff. You need to be doing like Fair Isle or Stranded or Mosaic or something like that. Socks that are knit with Sock Bunny Studios yarn is another category. Pictures of socks being knit in public, which I am calling Socks in the Wild. And then I also added, since I was so inspired by my knitting books, is a category called Socks from a Book. Now, in that one, you need to take a picture of the book with the sock. And I am being pretty strict on this. It can't be an ebook. It can't be a printout. It has to be an actual physical book. It can be from the library or one that you own or one that you borrow. But you need to take a picture of the pair of socks with the book. Because I think a lot of us have sock books that we might not have ever even knit out of. So that's your incentive there. So that was a new category that I added. So like I said, you have your general thread and then as many as will go in there. So like say I was entering this, of course I can't enter for prizes, but my Star Trek socks, those are a self-striping yarn. They are lace and they're knit from a book. So I would put them in the general thread, the lace thread, the striping thread, and the knit from a book thread. And I would have 4 chances to win from that one pair of socks. And don't forget, there are podcasters who have finished object threads every month, so you could post them there. If you were to knit socks that go in other podcasters' knit-alongs, I'm sure they will not mind if you do that. So there's one caveat. This pair of socks must be 50% or less completed as of June 1st. So as of June 1st, if you only had one sock knit, then you could knit the second sock and enter the pair. Or let's say you were knitting them 2 at a time and you hadn't finished the heels, then that would count as 50%. The knit along is going to run from June 1st through August 31st. There's a chatter thread, so feel free to go over there and chatter and show your in progress socks or what yarn you think you're going to use, or ask any questions. Don't ask any questions in the finished object threads. Make sure you ask them in the chatter thread. We have a ton of prizes. We have project bags, which I've already shown. And I created a thread called Sockstravaganza prizes, where you can go over and see all the various prizes. So we have knitting bags from Judy Lee 59 Knits. We have knitting bags from Unique Designs. We have several skeins of sock yarn donated by me. We have a pattern from Deborah Tomasello, a pattern from Retro Lemon, a secret prize coming from Lemknit Crochet, a pattern from Java Pearl, a pattern from Blooming Knitter. We have some yarn from Melanie, who is For Kitties Have I, which I'm going to show you in a second. We have another prize coming that I know of. If you have any prizes that you want to donate, let me know. It doesn't have to be knitting related. If you have an online shop like Etsy or whatever, or Big Cartel or Artfire, and you want just maybe some promotion for your product, you can donate it as a prize. And I do want to show you the prize yarns that were donated by Melanie, who is For Kitties Have I. And she donated 3 skeins of yarn, which was very sweet. First, she donated by Fiberknit Dye Works on her Bounce Base Ton Tavern. It's an orange and yellow, and I want to keep this one. Very pretty. And then she also donated, and this one's really, really pretty. This is Paper and Yarn is the dyer. Paperandyarn.com. And this colorway, oh, it doesn't say what the colorway is, but this is really super pretty. It's a little bit more teal than what you're seeing there. Not quite as dark as what you're seeing there, but it's sparkly. And this is Superwash Merino Silk and Nylon and Silver. And then the last one that she donated is from Mad Color Fiber Arts. This is a colorway called Briar Rose, and it's Superwash Merino Silk Yeah, 80% super wash merino, 20% silk, and this one is gorgeous. I want to keep this one as well. Really, really pretty. I like how it's got the bright area of fuchsia there with the dark, the contrast. So those are from Melanie. Four Cuties Have I. Thank you very much for those. Those are going in the prize bucket. And I will take a picture of those and add them. But all the other prizes have been listed so far in the prize thread. And like I said, if you want to donate a prize, just let me know. Okay, upcoming knit-alongs, crochet-alongs, and events. Tour de Fleece! If you don't know what Tour de Fleece is, every year during the Tour de France, which is a bicycle race in France, they the online knitting community has Tour de Fleece, which is actually the online spinning community, and we spin our wheels while they spin their wheels. And so that I heard on the Knittables podcast that it starts towards the end of June. My goal this year is to spin for a sweater. I have changed my mind 20 times on what colorway I want to do. I think it's going to be Polworth, though. I'm really leaning towards Polworth for the fiber. I need to make up my mind so I can actually order the fiber. I am now leaning towards turquoise or aqua shirt. So I don't know. Who knows what I'll end up doing. I don't even know what sweater I'm going to do. What I actually am going to do is do the spinning and then see what yarn I get and then pick a sweater accordingly. I don't want to pressure myself to try to spin to a specific weight and all that kind of stuff. So when I get done spinning, I'll pick which sweater I can get out of what yarn I have. So that is going to be, that's for like 3 weeks starting at the end of June. And last year I did daily podcasts during Tour de Fleece, and I plan on doing the same thing this year. The only catch is I might be going to Atlanta for a few days. My older daughter, Sarah, is actually, she left today to fly to Chicago. She's going to be in Chicago for a few weeks. She lives in Rhode Island. She is going to Chicago for a few weeks to do some mission work there. And then she is going to be flying into Atlanta, and I'm going to meet her in Atlanta, and we're going to stay with my friend that I stayed with for stitches. And then we're going to be coming home, and Sarah gets to come home for almost 2 weeks. Actually, yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. And like I said before, that's the longest I've seen her total in the last 5 years. So, like all the visits I've had combined don't even add up to 2 weeks. So I'm super excited that I'm going to get to see her this much. And so that might throw a wrench into the works for Tour de Fleece. But I can take my wheel or spindle with me, so it's not like I can't record. But we'll have to see, play that by ear. And then in September, October, November, we'll be having a scarf, hat, mitten knit along drive for Pinellas Hope, which is a local homeless shelter. They need to be washable and for any age or gender. You can start now if you want to. You don't have to wait until September, October, November to do it, and there will be lots of prizes. And then also in September, October, November, we're going to have a knit along for the bee leaf half pipe shawl, which is my design. So we got craziness coming up. Okay, tips and tricks. I already shared my little tip about putting the candles in the jar. Favorite things is my chair and bookshelf. What I am watching and reading is I finished watching Star Trek season 1 of the original series, and I started season 2 yesterday. I mentioned I saw Star Trek Into Darkness again, but I didn't mention that we saw it in IMAX 3D this time, which was mind blowing. And I think it's probably good that I didn't see it the first time in IMAX 3D, because as it was, the movie was fabulous without IMAX 3D. And I mean, I laughed, I cried. It was a very emotional experience for me, and I think IMAX 3D might have like pushed me over the edge. So it was really good. I noticed a lot of things the second time I saw it that I didn't notice the first time. So, and then I last week started watching another documentary, because I mentioned I like to watch documentaries, which my family does not like, so I have to watch those here in my knitting room. But I started watching a Ken Burns documentary on New York City, and it is super interesting. I mean, amazingly interesting. If you even if you're not a big fan of New York City, I've never been there, so I can't say I've driven through it, but I've never gotten out of my car in New York City. So, it's just a really, if you like American history, it's a very good documentary because it talks about the role that New York City plays in American history and how like New York City is a mini version of the United States of America. So it's just really very, very fascinating. I highly recommend it. Again, it's a Ken Burns documentary on New York City. And I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. I'm sure they probably have it on Netflix too. Okay, I think that's about it. The insanity! The next shop update is going to be next Sunday, June 16th at 2 o'clock Eastern at sockbunnystudios.etsy.com. Don't forget to post your workouts in the workout thread. Don't forget to post your posters for the poster along before the 7th. And don't forget to knit a lot of socks for Sockstravaganza. You can win prizes. I hope you have a great week. Keep on crafting. Bye.